What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Money, Real Life, Real Estate. This interview slash podcast style where I invite guests over and we talk about how we spend our money, how we got into real estate, and a little bit about ourselves. This time we have Ben McGuire. I've known this cat for about over a year. This is one of the hardest working LOs I've had the pleasure of working with. In fact, we've done a couple deals together already. In fact, we have one closing next week. So I wanted to bring him on this little podcast so you guys can have a lot of value of where he's from, what's his mindset, and the trajectory he's going. So without further ado, we got Ben McGuire here. Let's go. So thank you for being here, Ben.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.
So interesting story with Ben. It's like we've known each other for over a year. We've done a lot of deals together. In fact, currently we have another deal closing in about a week, right?
Next Wednesday, I believe.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday or next Thursday.
Yeah.
One or the other.
So let's go right into it, man. Why real estate, Ben? Why did you get into the real estate industry?
The real estate industry, man, I'll keep it blunt and honest with you. When I first got interested, I was young, broke in college, so
yep.
I wanted money.
Yeah.
I wanted money, and so, I got the idea back in, I would say 2018 from my aunt, who's a mortgage broker down in the Rio Grande Valley, Harlingen to be specific. Wonderful lady. She does a lot of business out there, real successful, inspiring. Cool. So she helped my cousin get a house, and I thought that's pretty baller because, nice. My cousin at the time, nobody thought she'd probably ever buy ever.
Right.
not to discredit her.
Yeah.
She's a great person and she works very hard.
So was this your aunt? You said that helped?
It was my aunt. Yes, my grandfather's sister. So like grand aunt or something.
Grand aunt, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. So I hit up my cousin because I wasn't really close with my aunt too. Like I just knew her, but we never really talked or anything.
Right.
So I said, hey, do you think Aunt Ellie, I hit up my cousin. Do you think Aunt Ellie would, be willing to tell me or show me how to get into this business? Because it seems cool, and I'm tired of being broke.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, just hit her up. I said, all right. I hit her up, and we got to talking, and she threw some big numbers out there at first, and
damn.
And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. But I was still in school. I was still living at home too.
Yeah.
I was like 19 or 20 at the time.
Right.
My parents, they wanted me to stay in school and stay focused, so it was a hard no. Because remember, I'm broke.
Oh, right.
And I'm not making much at my job that I was at, so I didn't have the money to be able to afford to pay for the classes.
Right.
I couldn't spare the $500 to do it.
Right.
Which was a blessing though, because I was still young. I was more driven by money there.
Yeah.
Other than actually being an influence and being a person of change in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go through a lot of developing and a lot of
personal growth.
Yeah, personal growth to where it's okay, now I want to do this because I'm seeing other people do and they're changing these people's lives. And so one day I told my parents, this is what I'm gonna do. I promise to still stay in school. I had some money that I've been saving, and I always not dependent on my parents, but I depended on them to if I'm gonna go make a financial decision, I want their approval.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to do anything to make them mad.
That last stage of teen life, when we go into 20, where you're like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna do it myself.
Yeah. So I did it. Took the class. COVID happened. Yeah. Finished out the semester. In lockdown, I told myself, I'm gonna study. That way, once I could take the test, I'll get licensed.
Yeah.
Wrong. Lockdown. What did I do? I think I just took care of my schoolwork and played video games, dude. I was getting good at GTA Online.
Nice. I was biding your time, man.
Yeah, I was just chilling, dude. I was staying in bed to a point where my legs would go numb because I'm just laying there all day.
And this time you had your license already?
I didn't. I just taken the class. I passed the test at the school to be able to take the national exam.
I see.
So lockdown started lifting. I worked at the gym at the time, so they were starting to open back up. They wanted us to come back. I didn't want to, but I had no choice. Gotcha. If I wanted to at least start going to the gym to get back into like some type of rhythm and,
Right,
and
right.
routine. So I went back, but I knew it's not what I wanted. I just like I'd taken this course. I'm not just gonna put that on the back burner now.
Right.
So I started looking on LinkedIn and Indeed, or those websites, looking to see who will hire somebody who's not licensed but is like right there.
Right. So you're looking for that kind of job specifically. It's like who would trust on you?
Yeah. Who would trust a young 21-year-old who's not licensed, no experience whatsoever, and come and start working with them doing their loans.
Gotcha.
And dude, that's how I met Carl.
Yeah. Interesting.
I was on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I saw the ad, AE Realty.
Yeah.
And so I just applied, dude, and I didn't hear back for like weeks. Like I think it was 2 weeks to be exact. Yeah. And one day I'm at the gym working out, and I get a phone call, and I'm like, wonder who it is, like no caller ID, anything.
Right.
So I'm like, I had given up on the fact that like this place is probably not gonna like bring me on or nothing.
Right.
So it's like, okay, let me just see who's calling me though. Answer it. It's Carl. Hey, this is Ben. Yeah, Carl Bishop, AE Realty. How you doing? The whole like intro that he does.
Right.
And so there I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like huffing and puffing too. I'm at the gym, and he's like, "Do you have a minute?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." Took off my AirPods and I went like to a quiet place. He's talking, invited me out to the career night thing.
Oh, I see. Cool.
I pulled up. I wasn't expecting it to be what it was. It was more like everyone's welcome. You just got to make it past the first phase. You'll make it past the first phase. It was great working with you. Good luck.
So you went. So tell me again. You got influenced by a family member to get into the real estate industry. Someone inspired you. You were getting your license, your loan origination license, right? Not real estate agent. Some people think you're probably a real estate agent, right?
Some people do, yeah. Because like I did a lot of like Asian type work at Carl's,
right?
So
right.
There's like
So interesting. You have that perspective of what it's like to be like a salesperson, right? It's what we call a real estate license, salesperson's license. But really, you do like the loan backing side of it, or the loan front part of it.
Yeah, the financing front.
I want to get into that in a second, man. But so if you can say one word, like what got you into real estate? Because what were you studying in college?
Marketing.
So how'd you go from marketing to real estate?
It was a journey, but I think I've always wanted to be in real estate one way or another. Eventually, I probably will become an agent.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon though. I want to master like the mortgage industry and make a great financial abundance out of it. And so before I jump and get into real estate, but I just wanted to get my foot in the door into just the industry in a whole. So mortgages was the cheapest way.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that, man, because I come from the agent side, license, right? Being a licensed agent. You come from the loan origination licensing side. What's the difference, in your opinion, between a real estate agent and a loan officer? And then, what is your role primarily as a LO?
The difference between a real estate agent and a loan officer. The difference would be, I think you guys we all have to hustle, right? We all have to grind it out. You guys do a little bit more work than us, though. If we're being honest, you gotta put miles on your car. You have to take clients out. You gotta submit offers and win offers. You gotta, when you go into contract, you gotta schedule inspection. You have to, do this and do that. Like you just gotta make sure.
You sound like a real estate agent.
You gotta make sure everything, goes smoothly for the client.
Right.
As a loan officer, I don't have to put miles on my car. The most miles I'm gonna put on my car is meeting somebody to either collect documents because they might be an older client, so they can't work technology, or it's just more beneficial for me to just go and meet them and get their docs that way.
Right.
More so, I'm working from anywhere. Really, I was in California for 2 weeks. Got back on Sunday, but the whole time I was out there, I was working. Yeah. Helping stuff get closed, and
in fact, I think I called you a couple times during that, right? I had no idea. Until like third call, like, you're in California.
Yeah. You're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm in LA.
So did you know that the real estate industry can provide you that kind of flexibility when you were getting into it, or you kind of learn how to manage your time?
I learned how to manage my time, but I didn't think it would provide that flexibility. I think as a loan officer, I'm a little bit more flexible.
Yeah.
As a real estate agent, you guys are a little bit more tied because you got to be present for if your client wants to go see a house.
Very true.
I mean, of course, you can have a colleague or pay a colleague to show the house on your behalf because maybe you do need the vacation.
Right.
You know, you could grind it out all year long, but, you know, there is a thing called burnout.
Right.
And, you know, my personal opinion, I would prefer to, if I start feeling like I'm about to get to a burnout, I'll take the vacation like on a whim.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get to that stage because you get to that stage and your work ain't the best, you know?
Right.
Work ain't the best, so.
So you mentioned you got your LO license at 20 or 21?
21.
21. Now, in how many years have you been in LO at this point?
1 year and I think like 8 or 9 months.
Wow, so not even 24 months.
Not even 24 months.
And do you think you got into this real estate industry at an early age or at the right time? Or you feel like you could have gone into it sooner? Like, what are your thoughts about like getting into the industry?
I wish I would have gotten in sooner, only because like, I mean, I'm a year and like 8, 9 months in.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen like tremendous growth in me personally and in business as well. So it's like, man, if I would have gotten started sooner, who knows where I'd be right now, you know? But at the same time too, like everything has a place and time. And so like, if I would have done it sooner, maybe I wouldn't have been as dedicated as I am today.
Right.
You know, I was still young. Maybe I wouldn't have been as focused or, you know, so, part of me sooner, other part of me grateful that it's even just happening. And, you know, God's timing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
nice.
I got in where I got in and that was that.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy where I'm at right now. You know, I mean, where I was a couple of years ago to where I am right now, where I was a couple of months ago to where I am right now.
Nice.
You know, it's a difference. I'm loving what I'm doing.
Yeah. How has your journey been as an LO these last, 20 so months?
20 so months. Let me see, man. Ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
You know of them.
Yeah. I've been there through a lot of them.
Yeah, you've been through them. So, what's crazy, man, is you and I first met before I even got licensed. And,
that's right.
And I have good memories. So you came in.
That's
I was still an apprentice at AE Realty. You came in and, you know, you're getting the feel for the water, testing the waters. And I was like, hey, what's up, man? And you asked me, you agent or LO? Oh, I'm going to be an LO. I'm not licensed yet, though.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I threw you off like, what are you doing here? And then it's like, you know, a week later I got licensed.
That's right.
A week later I got licensed. You came back maybe a month later, I think. And so when you came back the second time, I was like, yo, I got licensed. What's up?
Yeah.
And it was a rough start first. I mean, I contracted my first.
Oh, that's right.
closing.
I went to go interview and then I had to do a transition with my other job.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You had your other job.
Yeah.
And so I contracted my first deal like 2 weeks into getting licensed, you know, because I had been doing apprentice work that was basically building a pipeline.
Right.
So I was able to kind of get a quick start in terms of just getting my first check because not being an apprentice meant no more pay. So it's like, all right, I got a car I gotta pay.
Yeah, you gotta get that commission.
It's like real deal.
Yeah.
It was stressful to do that first because I really doubted myself a lot. And I think everybody does.
Yeah.
And I share that with people. Some people won't share that because maybe it might damage their reputation or the image that they've created. But I'll share it just because I pride myself on transparency and everything.
Gotcha.
And when I talk to new agents or even new LOs,
I
let them know, dude, you know, you're going to doubt yourself a lot. I doubted myself a lot. You know, but if you just keep grinding it out, like you'll see the results. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was tough first couple months, and then things started kind of picking up, rolling. My first big month was May of last year. I was about maybe 3 months into actually being licensed. Full-time, fully licensed. Contracted about 7 for the month. Yeah. And dude, I thought I was on top of the world. Yeah. I was trying to stay level-headed and humble and stuff but at the same time too, I was having a hard time because I never thought I could do it. You know what I mean?
You get all that money, you know, in a short period of time, and you weren't kind of used to it, didn't expect it. You had your head down, focused the whole time, and next thing you know, it's hold.
Yeah, so and then of course, like some changes came with my business, you know, with the whole team that we had going on.
Yeah.
Ended up at a company that, you know, I wish them the best and they'll find their legs, but where I was in my business, I didn't have time for that. I didn't have time.
How important is it to be around the right people in your industry?
When you first get started, I would say the first 3 to 5 years, it is, and I'm not even there yet, but this is just like me having time to reflect.
Seeing that growth pattern.
Yeah, I would say it's extremely important, you know, for an LO, even for an agent. As an agent, you got to be around the right mentors. You have to be around the right people that want to see you win, because that's, your mentors are going to reflect how you're going to grow and learn in the beginning. And how you grow and learn in the beginning is crucial to like the longevity of your business, because in the beginning, that's when you develop habits. That's when you pick up on things, and they could be good habits or bad habits.
Right.
Or you might not have a good team or mentor, and then you just get out the business. And now you could potentially leaving like your legacy at the door. You know, like people will, something might not pop off for them, and then they leave, and it could just be, it's like you just might not be around the right people.
Right.
So that was me, around the right people, got around the wrong people. I wouldn't say the wrong people, but just people that, you know, weren't savvy in terms of the back end of how things work and stuff like that. And I was still early on in the business, so I needed all the support I could get, all the help I could get, all the questions.
Especially as a young licensed loan officer, you know, you have to have the path to success kind of guided to you, you know. And so it's important to, like, you know, be mentored by somebody or coached by someone, or being in the right organization that's going to give you the skills, right?
I would say so, yes. I mean, like, dude, it was hard. You know, I left that team, and I went back to where I knew it was working.
Right.
And I had to get the ball rolling again. It was kind of like starting fresh, starting new, because, you know, my first year, I closed all my deals without realtors. I just did it solely on prospecting and just
your own grind.
People up. Yeah. Now it's like realtors. I am doing some things right now behind the scenes to where it's like I have my referral partners. Yeah. But I'm also self-generating. You don't want to rely on people that much. Right. But I love my referral partners a lot. No, I really do. Yeah. And so, but you know, you have to also be self-reliant as well too. Like, you got to make it happen on your own.
So that's an interesting point. I want to transition to the next kind of topic, which is, you know, real money, you know, and you were talking about like having to prospect yourself and enjoying those referral partners, because at the end of the day, you're your own business. You know what I mean? You, through the tax code, you know, you're a sole proprietor, so no one's paying you. If you don't work, you don't get paid, right? So that means you operate as a self-standing business. And so how are you planning to invest in yourself in the future, or what are you doing to invest in yourself now, whether it's financially or through knowledge or through relationships or through leverage? What are some of the things that you're investing in yourself now for your business?
Right now, I'm definitely investing in knowledge.
Nice.
How to sustain a business like this, you know, how to make it grow.
What are some of the things you're doing, or some of the things that you want to be working on?
You know, I want to work a little bit more on self-generating.
Yeah.
You know, because I love my referral partners, but I think like I want to go to the next level, and I know the next level requires, you know, me to like do something to self-generate like my own business. Gotcha. You know, the leads are coming straight to me. At that point, I'll pre-approve them and send them to a realtor, whoever, you know, whoever could take them, and of course still take referrals. But investing in knowledge, you know, for sure. You'll always be a student, you know. You're always going to be a student no matter what you're doing, because there's always somebody that's, you know, ahead of you.
Right.
So
no matter what stage in life you're in,
no matter
always
what stage,
going to be someone there.
You could be a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
And there's
still
a billionaire out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Ben, how do you spend your money, man? What do you spend the money most on? Whether it's food or toys or rent, you know, what is it? How does Ben McGuire spend his money?
What do I spend my money on?
Other than tats, man. How many tats you got?
You know, I think maybe 15 or 16. Yeah. I just started working on my back again. So
then you got a whole back piece?
I do. I have a whole back piece, a little bit right here on the neck. Might go a little bit more up. Yeah. You know, again, self-employed, so no one can tell me.
Yeah. But nice.
What do I spend my money on? My vices, so tattoos. Yeah. And everything's always, you know, family related and stuff. It's never anything crazy. Shoes. I love shoes. I got my beaters on today though.
Yeah, tell me more about them. Every time I see you, you have different shoes. How many pairs of shoes do you have? What kind of shoes do you got? Like, I know there's a whole industry out there, man. There's a whole culture out there of shoes, bro.
Yeah. So I don't know how many pairs of shoes I have. Not because I have too many or anything.
Yeah.
I never really counted. But I have like a range. You know, I'll go through phases.
Yeah.
So I might go through a phase where I want like sneakers from like Nike or
Yeah.
Adidas, and then I'll go through like my designer phase where like, oh, I like this new pair of shoes that Gucci put out or whatever the case may be.
You had some Gucci and Gabbana ones, right?
Oh yeah.
What do you call them? Gucci and Gabbana?
Dolce and Gabbana.
Yeah.
Funny story about those is I bought those after my big month. You know? I was like, yes, like, because I wasn't splurging on myself before, only because it's like I'm not having big months where it's like I can go and do that.
Yeah, you felt like you had to reward yourself.
I had to because I was grinding it out.
Nice.
And
so those shoes must mean a lot.
They do.
Yeah.
And it's even funnier is because we were in Hawaii on the vacation with my sister, brother-in-law, my whole family basically.
Right.
And man, you know, I don't live at home. I have my own job. I pay my own bills. Mm-hmm. And my mom still hates when I spend money on shoes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I went to the store out there in Hawaii, which you actually used to live out there.
Yeah, I used to live out there in Hawaii. Yep.
So I went to the Ala Moana.
Ala Moana, big mall, right?
Yep, right there on the beachfront almost. And I bought the shoes, and once my parents found out how much I spent, dude, it caused a whole fight that whole night. A big fight. Dinner was awkward. People were arguing over a pair of shoes. Yeah. Because but it is what it is. I had to reward myself, and I still took care of everything that I needed to before I did that.
And that's most important, you know.
Yeah,
you got to be responsible, you know.
Yeah, and so, but it ranges, you know. Right now, I think I'm going through like a Nike Jordan phase. Yeah. I really like the Travis Scott Fragment ones that came out. Nice. There's some other collabs with different artists and brands that collab with like Nike and stuff. Yeah. I am big on the Yeezys. Yeah. I was Kanye West for Halloween. Like,
yep.
I'm big on
Beignet, man. You're Beignet.
I'm big on the Yeezys. I love those. But yeah, that's what I spend my money on, dude. Shoes, tattoos.
So I'm wondering like what kind of asset class, you know, shoes are, because I don't know too much about that kind of culture, but I do know that, you know, shoes are expensive. Some people buy them and sell them. Some people hold them and then sell them for more. Some people buy wholesale. You know, like, it's a whole industry out there, man. Like, do you plan to buy these, you know, very market price shoes and hold on to them? Do you want to sell them, or is it more of a collection? You know, or like, what's the drive behind that?
I wouldn't say successful. I mean, I've always loved shoes. Yeah. Like shirts and jeans and all. Like, I've never been a big fan, but shoes, I've always wanted shoes. Nice. And so, yeah, there is a market for like shoes. Like, depending on like what kind of pair you buy. Like, I was actually talking to my friend Andrew, our processor, about it, because he's a sneakerhead, and I was telling him one time, like, dude, it's crazy how shoes are valued at like so much more now just because there's so much hype around it. Like, like hype literally drives the value of a shoe, and the shoe cannot be worth that, you know, but it's just the hype around it, and it's like the culture and community around it that is making it worth that. Interesting. And so I think for me, you know, yeah, there could be some shoes out there that I could buy and hold, and they'll go up depending on the demand for them, you know, and then sell them for a little bit more. But for me, it's more like I like to wear my shoes. I like to beat them up. So I mean, these are trashed, and people
in good shape.
My dad's offered to clean them. Andrew's offered to clean them, and I'm like, no, I like them beat up.
They have a story, man.
Yeah. So I like to wear my shoes, and so for me, it's just I like shoes. I like collecting them. It's not necessarily like to portray success or anything, because I could be living paycheck to paycheck and buy a shoe, you know, and no one would ever know. Yeah. But that's not the case, though. I know when to hold off, and I know when I can't go and buy a shoe. Yeah. Like, I did want to buy a shoe when I was out in LA, but I said, you know what, like, I'd rather keep my money this time. Right. So I chose to do that. But
that's cool, man.
It is crazy though how.
And I think, you know, having those kind of motivations or like vices, you know, that you know, if you want bigger, better stuff, you want more tats, you know, if you want a better car or whatever have you, like, what do you have to do? You got to work for it. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of pushes you to become even more successful even financially, so you can kind of continue to enjoy that level of, of freedom and I would call it play, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely like to play. I think the one thing that's driving me the most right now is the last couple of closings I've had.
Yeah.
They've been like emotional for the client.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad I'm at this point where, it's not the amount of how much I close or how much I'm gonna make,
Right.
but it's just the satisfaction of seeing the client like just close. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I was in a closing, I would say last month or in March, into March, and we're there, and the lady's getting ready to start signing, and like she just goes, and I'm like, I'm kind of like not paying attention, and I look up and I'm like,
what happened?
Yeah, are you okay? And she's like, she starts crying like, no, it's just so real, like, like,
Yeah.
it's stuff like that, and so I'm mostly driven by that now.
Nice.
I think being able to like maybe buy shoes or get another tattoo or anything like that is just like a plus.
Nice.
But I really push for the client satisfaction. Like I really push to make them happy.
Nice.
Which is helping me grow my business, helping me do a little bit more than what I was before, because it's a different perspective. But yeah, no, I definitely do like to have my moments where I go and play though. Take a trip.
Gotcha. So before we start wrapping up here, talking about who Ben is, right? So now we got to know how you got started into real estate. Got to know how you like to spend your money. Let's get to know who Ben is, man. Where are you from, Ben? You come from a family of money. You grew up in San Antonio.
I wouldn't say I come from a family of money, but I also don't come from like a poor family. I would say average middle class. Like parents took care of the bills. They took care of what mattered.
Nice.
There wasn't really an abundance until after I got out of high school.
Yeah.
After I grew up, like, damn it. Yeah, everything started going great I mean, everything's always been great.
Right.
God's always taken care of us. But yeah, I wouldn't say I came from money, but I also didn't come from a poor family. I mean,
You're from San Antonio?
I am from San Antonio. I was born and partially raised here. My dad was military. So I lived in San Diego for a little bit, California. Lived there for a little bit and then moved back here basically once he finished his duty and contract. And that transition from like being a military family to being like just a civilian family.
Right.
It was a little different, because of course I had a lot of friends in California. I had to kind of uproot all that and move here and start fresh.
Right.
My dad wasn't making a ton of money in the military, but the military took care of us in terms of benefits. They gave us housing, stuff like that, know. So it wasn't. I mean, I knew people within our military housing community that for some reason they had a little bit more than me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Like I was still happy with what I had.
Yeah.
Like my parents still took care of me, and they still let me play football and stuff. So I wasn't tripping.
Yeah.
We moved back, and there wasn't the transition from having that stable, somewhat, check from the parents to like my dad's now trying to get back on his feet as a civilian. It was a little rough, and then he worked as a contractor in Afghanistan, made good money there, so we kind of got a taste of something better than what we had.
Damn.
And then my dad came back to be a registered nurse, so that transition from making good money again to kind of like I got a part-time job. My mom's working full-time, and my dad's working full-time while going to school. It was different, because it was like we can't do this, we can't do that. Like we just got to take care of what matters, and I respect them for that, because there was moments where like it was rough, the water would get turned off or the light would get turned off. And dude, the water would get turned off, and like you're not supposed to do this, but we'd go out there like to where saws would come in and turn it, and we'd go out there and we'd turn it back on. Like they wouldn't lock it. And that's not to say like, oh, we were poor and we were slumming it. It's just like there's moments where like maybe
it happens.
it happens.
And I think those moments shape your life. You know what I mean? They make an impact. And that's probably what's subconsciously driving you to become more and more and more, now.
At a young age, I wouldn't say that, like I said, we didn't have it rough.
Right.
We didn't have like, I went to high school where, people lived in very nice houses. People came from money and stuff. And so, shout out to Clark. And so, I was around people who did have a lot more than me at that time, and I wanted that. But I respected my parents and the drive that they had to just take care of us, And so but I just know I want a little bit more for when I grow up and when I have a family. Like I want to give my kids what I saw my friends have. And so, but yeah, man, I mean, like, dude, the house was my parents' house is pretty big, and it was a little spooky, man. One time I'm there and the lights are off, and I was the only one there. My mom was at work, my dad was at work.
Yeah.
My younger sisters were with my grandparents. So I'm in the house and it creaks, and so it's just spooky. I'm trying to take a nap to just like, okay, I'll just wake up, like everybody will be here, so it wouldn't be as bad. But dude, that night it was like December. I remember it. I waited outside, like on the front porch, and then it got dark outside. So now I'm just in the dark outside. But my mom came pick me up. We went to go stay at my grandparents. But it's like little things like that, like, you know, it wasn't an all the time thing, but it was little things like that made me like, I don't want to put my kids through this, you know. It wasn't terrible, but I don't want to experience this ever again. You know, I don't want to have to go outside and turn the little knob to make the water turn on. And dude, we were doing that to where like they came and they actually put a lock on it this time, and they put a notice on our door like, don't do this. Yeah.
Well, Ben, man, it's been a pleasure having you, man. You know, we talk almost on a weekly basis, but it's good to sit down and for a lot of our viewers to get to know you on a more personal side, what you do professionally, what you do for fun, and where you come from, man, what drives you. So you want to, tell the audience a little bit about how they can reach you and what services you provide?
Yeah, so loan officer at Expedient Mortgage. I do a little bit of everything. VA, conventional FHA, USDA. You can reach me on Facebook. I'm not on anything else but Facebook. We're working something out though. We'll see what we could do as far as getting on other platforms. You can add me on there at Ben Sertucci, SERRTUCHE. I'll accept your friend request.
Awesome.
And all my contact info is on there. Telephone number 210-473-7033. Available all hours of the day unless it's at night. Definitely don't want to make the girlfriend mad, making late night phone calls.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was a pleasure coming out here. I mean, we gotta do this again.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we'll do something again next time though, where it's just table talk, man.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
Let's go, man.
Yeah. See what's out there. Just throw something, see what sticks. But
awesome, man.
I enjoyed this, dude.
Well, thank you for coming out, and thank you for audience sitting through the interview here. Again, this is Real Life, Real Money, Real Talk with Ben McGuire. All right, we're out.